Do you see here? Hi, guys and gals. Well, I'm going to try and do two Spooky University videos in one because basically I'm behind. And I find it in a way both topics kind of fit together. One was talking about birthmarks and what you think about them, and the other one, oh, the wind's coming up. And the other one was a talk about what would you want to do with your body, so to call post-mortem, I suppose. So they fit together in a way because birthmarks usually have to do with what happens within the womb of the unborn child, and actually the second part has to do with what goes on with the body after the after death. So before birth and after death, same body in principle. Well, anyway, talking about birthmarks, one of the questions was, there are certain people that would say that birthmarks are, I'll almost say part of premonitions, or if you got it, it's because of something, like maybe you saw your mom saw something, or ate something, or it means something for you in your life. I would put it this way, at least what I believe is very simple, is that I don't think that any external factor like, your mom seeing something weird would create a birthmark. But some birthmarks are due to problems. In the gestation period. In the womb, and then basically, sometimes there are some that can be dangerous. Most of them are more depending on. If it's like the ones that you see, the red, like a red blotch or something like that, is definitely an embarrassment, I would say, for many people. In some cases, it can be dangerous. In some cases, it can be like it's like a very often due to major vascularization. I can't even talk anymore. Vascularization. That can be, and that's actually sometimes it's the way that cancer cells develop. So I don't want to scare anybody, but there's that fact that's in there. So, it's something to look into, but I'd say in the large part, a birthmark is not something that should be, I would say, taken lightly, but on the other hand, it's not something that'll probably destroy your health. Now, your mental health, that's something else. I've seen people that have had horrible birthmarks, and I can imagine that they would feel very conscious. So, I don't have any. If you want to call freckles a birthmark, I suppose I would say I do have them. But none of the ones that maybe we think of right off when we think of birthmarks. Claire showed how she had like twin toes. It's funny, I hadn't actually associated that with a birthmark, but it is something that you have at birth. So yeah, it's my take on that one. Now, what would you do with your post-mortem body? Now, frankly, I haven't given it all that much thought. I know that like some people, like my mom, I believe, wants to give her body for science or whatever, or at least her organs, maybe not the whole body, but some of the organs. As far as I'm concerned, no, I didn't really actually think about that in that respect. I know it seems strange. At one point I did. Nobody would want my eyes. They would end up being more blind than they were before, probably. Some people would like to, a lot of people actually, more and more, would like to be cremated. I used to say to the family that, whatever, if that happened, choose the cheapest option out and don't burden the family with costs. Now, today, I would probably rather be buried. So in a casket. One of the things is that very often urns, I've seen that with people, actually tend to become almost I'm not going to say an object of veneration, but because it depends. It can go both ways. Some people, if it's an urn, they just basically keep it almost and stuff it in a cupboard and it becomes like nothing, or it becomes too much. If the body is buried somewhere, I know, I mean, there's people will go and everything, but I don't know. I just kind of feel it's different. I mean, you're there. People know you're there. Put it that way. I can get what you say. Well, the remains. I'm not going on I'm not basing that on like a religious thing because a lot of how can I say, certain religions still don't want you to be cremated. Others only do cremation. And there was a long time actually in the Christian religion they didn't want you to be. Well, I mean, they would frown upon you being cremated because, but I mean, if you're a Christian, I mean, if God is supposed to be able to create you from nothing, what is a little bit of dust? I mean, anyway, I mean, all these former bodies have become dust anyway. So you know what I mean. I mean, I don't have to get into that, but yeah. So that's the way I see it right now. So yeah, that was the last two Spooky Universities, which I'll have to look up the numbers. And yeah, it's an interesting topic. They do kind of fit together because it does have to do with I was going to say your body perception and your body, your thoughts about your body for the future. Yeah, okay, that's my take on this one. So take care, everybody. And we've been having a day off. It's Ascension today, so in Europe, most of Europe countries, it's a day off actually. Okay, take care, everybody.